kind of having his back. I was going to ask you the best team in the NL East is, but I know better. Do I know better? Is the best team? It's an impossible question. I could ask you this in July and we still wouldn't have an answer.
Okay, good. I thought you had like a clear-cut answer.
Yeah, me too. I was wondering.
It's a great division. It's going to be debated for a while. Carlos
answer.
Correa can move that needle too.
Absolutely.
Especially with that bullpen. You look at what the Mets lost, but you look at what they gained. They're still just as good from a bullpen standpoint.
All right, we will see that in just a little bit. You know what? We're ready to go because there's been news over the past couple weeks about Bryan Reynolds. And every offseason, I feel like we sit at this desk and actually every trade deadline and we say, will Bryan Reynolds be traded? Is this the year? It's been a couple years that we could say that. Where is the best fit right now? Can you pick?
There's a lot of real good fits for Bryan Reynolds. He's an excellent baseball player. I think what's being reported is that the Pirates are asking a big return. And why wouldn't they? This is an all-star type player. The question for me is, if you trade for a guy like this, is he your middle of the lineup guy or is he your complementary piece to take you to become an elite team? So I look at, Yankees have been rumored in it. Does Bryan Reynolds make the Yankees better? Absolutely. Great bat-to-ball skills. That's a lineup that has a lot of swings and misses. So he could kind of shore up that lineup. What's it going to take to get him? I don't know if that's worth it. That's I'm glad I'm sitting here. I can second-guess all the GMs and all the owners. But he's an outstanding player. I like that his slugging and power numbers have increased. And he's a guy that if a team does get him, Cam, it's 3 years of control. So there's value in that. That makes him extra attractive. I just don't know what's it going to take? What's it going to take to get a guy like that?
And I believe that's another reason why it is taking so long. It's those years of control. The Pirates want to make sure they get back good quality young players that they know are going to be good or they think they're going to be good. The one thing for me, I know we're talking about the Yankees a lot, but a team that's making some moves, and you asked what would be a good fit. Teams that are making moves that I think are a year away, maybe 2 years away, the Texas Rangers. I mean, if you look at what they're doing down there, bringing in Bruce Bochy, bolstering that starting rotation. They've got Seager, they've got Simeon, they've got some pieces. You go and add a Bryan Reynolds. They're trying to spend money. I think, he's worth whatever he wants. I think this guy is a gamer. He shows up to play every day. I think you throw him in that mix, and all of a sudden, you're looking at Texas going, hey, they might be a year away from really competing, against the Houston Astros sooner rather than later.
Those people who have not put eyes on Bryan Reynolds, what makes him so special? Tell me.
Well, I think it hurts him that he plays in Pittsburgh. When you watch him, he has a very calm demeanor, a very bring your lunch pail to the park and show up and just go to work. And that's one thing I respect about him. And sometimes I wonder if it's a workman's mentality or just knowing that I have to show up and play for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are not very good. But what he has is speed, he has power. But what I love about him the most is his IQ. This guy understands who he is. Right here, this is a great play. Nubber standing side of the ball, realizing immediately nobody's covering third base. What does he do? Do what he does all season long, try to put the Pittsburgh Pirates in a position to score runs and win. And something that goes underrated for Bryan Reynolds, I just talked about in the back, he's a sneaky, phenomenal athlete. This guy can really go get the ball. He gets great jumps, great reads right here. This is one of the toughest plays you're going to see coming off the bat of Giancarlo Stanton coming right at you. Those balls, those low liners off a guy like that's bad. You don't know if it's going to be over your head or in, and you see him, great jump, excellent speed, and right here, power from the right-handed side. I mean, this guy, his bat-to-ball skills are really good. Like Mike said, he made some adjustments with his mechanics, stood up a little bit taller, and now he's just crushing the ball both sides of the plate. So when you talk about the Yankees, he would be a great guy to just plug in at the top of that lineup. But for me, watching what he can do off both sides of the plate right here with this lefty pop in San Francisco, a place that isn't the most hitter-friendly. And then right here, you see him walk up to the plate, take a deep breath, and right here, I guess I'll just put the guys on my back one more time and walk them all. That's what he does. So you see him right there, a little bit of tired of carrying them. I would love to see this guy on a contending team where he doesn't have to have so much pressure. The talk isn't always about him. He can just kind of sit in the middle of a lineup or at the top of the lineup and just kind of play the game that he wants to play, quiet and unsung, but a huge piece of the puzzle.
I've always thought switch hitters that you don't see the big drop-off between their left-handed numbers and right-handed numbers, a la Jose Ramirez. They're matchup nightmares because you don't know, today, is he swinging the bat better from the right side or the left side? Who do you bring in? You bring in the lefty? Who's hitting behind him? So those guys, I think, bring a little bit of an added value when it comes to, the game planning against another team. He runs pretty well, like Cameron says. He brings defense. So he's just a complete baseball player, and he would be attractive to several teams. You know, he might be that finishing piece for a team that says, hey, we're one guy away. This guy could be it.
He moves different on defense, doesn't he? He's fun to watch. 27 years old, debuted back in 2019. You know, sometimes baseball takes a backseat to life, and that is what we heard yesterday when we heard from Liam Hendriks announcing he will step aside for health reasons, posted this statement. As a professional athlete, I have always been mindful to try and use my position in the public eye to the most positive ends possible by shining a light on causes or issues that touch close to home for myself, my wife, and my family. It is in that spirit that I want to share some personal health news I have learned in the past few days and do so on my own terms. Recently, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Hearing the word cancer came as a shock to my wife and I, as it does to millions of families each and every year. However, I'm resolved to embrace the fight and overcome this new challenge with the same determination I've used when facing other obstacles in my life. My treatment begins tomorrow, as in today, and I'm confident that I will make a full recovery and be back on the mound as soon as possible. I know with the support of my wife, my family, and my teammates, and the Chicago White Sox organization, along with the treatment and care from my doctors, I will get through this. I love what he said. He's going to channel that fighting spirit. We see it, Cam. We see it every day on the mound to overcome this and get back there.
We all know I play with a lot of teams. I was never fortunate enough to play with Liam Hendriks, but all you hear, you know, throughout the brotherhood, because baseball is a brotherhood. A lot of different teams, but you know, as players, we all root for each other. We always hope for the best for each other's families. Yeah. And when you talk about Liam Hendriks, you know, guys light up. They talk about him being a bright spot in the clubhouse. When he comes in, you know what you're going to get. He's a positive guy. He's a team guy. He's always about what can he do to provide energy for other people. You hear what he does in the community. You read his, his statement right there, and you can just tell that, you know, he's got a fighting spirit, and this isn't the end. You know, he has a lot of support. You see it all throughout the day on Twitter, guys, you know, just letting him know that we're here for him, prayers for him and his family. This is a guy who definitely will overcome it and come back probably better than he was before.
Not only is he the best interview in baseball.
The best.
He's fantastic. But I think the statement speaks volumes of him because he mentions his cancer along with the millions of other people that go through it. So he acknowledges that this isn't just a me issue, you know, and so I think it just speaks volumes of him as a person. I've never heard a guy, a teammate, former player, anyone speak anything bad about him. So I think from all of us, he knows we're all rooting for him.
Yes,
all
we certainly are. And the best interview, you are right. He asked you questions. You're like, I thought I was the one conducting this interview. I keep thinking of the moment he gets back on the mound and the roaring crowd. We are fighting for you. And the White Sox taking to social media and writing this. You've got this 31 in support of their all-star closer. Over the last 24 hours, the baseball world has come together as teams and players all around Major League Baseball have shown their love and their support for Liam Hendriks over social media as he starts his battle. We are with you, and we will be right back with more MLB Tonight. Stay with us.